Guys, don't miss Bully Ray and Velvet Sky in Waterbury, Connecticut, guys. Go down there and check it out May 6th. It's to benefit animals. Everything is listed right there on the screen. Please go to it. Let them know Joe Cronin sent you. Say hi to them on Twitter. Retweet this cause on Twitter for them. It would really mean a lot to me and to them. And go meet them, take a photo, get an autograph, all that stuff. It's just $20 per person, plus pizza and all kinds of other stuff. I may even be there. It'll be a lot of fun in Waterbury, Connecticut, May 6th. What's up, wrestling fans, and welcome to State of the WWE. Joe Cronin alongside devious Dave Rose. We might even be having somebody else join us in a few minutes here, but that doesn't matter. A lot of people were really interested in what Dave's opinion of WrestleMania was. I've given mine out a lot. You've probably heard me talk about it, right? You've heard
several times, yes. I do still listen to you, despite the fact that I'm not always available to be on your shows.
I'd be like, I'm not listening to this guy. Well, this is episode 87 of State of the WWE, and if anybody wants to have fun, go back and listen to all the episodes of State of the WWE. And with the loss of wages on the YouTube right now, Dave, real quick to throw it out there, can you believe this? WrestleMania last year and the year before made me $300 and then $500 the previous years. This year's WrestleMania, the ad revenue, I made $18. That's how bad whatever is going on is happening right now.
And that is directly on Twitter's head.
YouTube said, yeah.
Sorry, YouTube, my bad. But
Fuck
Twitter's
Twitter.
involved too. But
yeah.
they censor for different reasons. But you are correct. YouTube is the one that has decided to pull revenue generation from content creators like yourself. And that discrepancy that you see from one year to the next, although I believe you may have had more viewers this year.
Yeah, and more views. Everything was up, except the money was insanely down.
Exactly. That is proof positive that this issue is within YouTube's responsibility.
But we'll move on from that. I mentioned it before. I'm not, crying
All right,
about it.
I'll try to make this as quick as possible because, again, you've mentioned that there's been some people that were, for some reason, interested in my opinion.
Well, you know what it is, Dave?
You know what? We've got a lot to discuss,
well,
so
Dave,
I want to go quickly through that.
You built up on it a lot. We talked a lot in State of the WWE about what was going to happen, so I think now people are looking for that. Like, they heard me, they heard Jake, but they didn't hear your resolution after hearing your opinions building up to WrestleMania.
Well, first and foremost, what should be understood is I went into WrestleMania with the attitude that nobody is going to fuck with my Christmas of wrestling. The fact is, this is the one time of the year where it's supposed to be this great event, the ultimate thrill ride. So you know what? I made it so that I had all this great food available. I had my chicken wings, I had my booze, I had my other consumables. And I went into the show knowing that I'd been disappointed for the last year, knowing that Raw has been abysmal, and knowing that SmackDown is the little train that could, despite the fact that you see a total railroading of them. And I said, nobody's going to fuck with this night for me. I want to enjoy myself. And even if I've had my standards lowered because of this past, history, nobody's going to ruin it for me. So I went in there, basically saying that I'm not going to go in with expectations. And I'll be honest, I was actually very surprised and pleased with the night. I actually enjoyed myself WrestleMania night, although it took so much out of me because it was like 7+ hours, sitting on my ass watching all these matches. But again, overall, despite the fact that I was totally drained for 2 days after it, I enjoyed myself. I definitely did not like that the Intercontinental Championship match was on the pre-show because that is a show that people should pay for. But I enjoyed it, although I did not expect the outcome. The Andre the Giant Memorial match was somewhat annoying, especially with this Gronk guy. Again, I don't watch NFL. I don't know who this guy is. First, as soon as I saw him,
that's
I thought to myself,
you got to know
who is this like steroided, like Vanilla Ice wannabe?
You got to love Gronkowski. You can't be talking about Gronk like that.
I know that he's part of your team and all that, your 5 rings and all that shit, but you know what? With a name like Gronk,
iPlague brought
you've
that
lost
up.
A lot of respect.
With me at least. Gronk is like literally the epitome of football douche. Like he's like.
But dude, what does my opinion matter about football anyways? I don't watch it. So it's just like this is another situation where you've got like Dennis Rodman or fucking Shaq or somebody fucking doing something, at one of these shows, and that's it. You know,
but I think it's even worse. I think it's even worse because I think people around the world, like iPlague said, she's like, you know, from an international perspective, she's like, I have no clue who this guy is. So it's like,
makes a great point too, because again, how are you going to get the audience invested in something that is basically colloquial, is specified specifically to the United States? I mean, listen to me. I didn't even know who this guy was. So
it was about making traction in the U.S., to be honest, and that was all they cared about. I mean, you can argue that, though, like whether that's right or wrong, you know, but basically they were like, hey, we're going to be in every newspaper if we just bring Gronk in the ring somehow, so they found a way to do it.
To me, it was inconsequential anyways, because I was not pleased with the outcome. I mean, Mojo Rawley, you know, the man who destroys mountains of coke, he doesn't do it for me.
Allegedly.
I see that they're actively pushing him, but it was inconsequential for me. So that match really wasn't a big thing.
They're pushing him based on his relationship with Gronk, is what it is.
I don't care.
Right. I mean, it's stupid.
I don't care. Now, AJ Styles and Shane McMahon, I very much enjoyed this match. There was several times where I actually did fear for their well-being. And that, I think, speaks a lot to their ability to perform, as well as the risks that they were willing to take. So that, to me, although you have mentioned, as well as JD, that it was a sort of slow match and that there was certain spots, you know, that obviously looked planned and so forth, whatever, I enjoyed it. And I thought it really did a lot to convey and continue the storyline, despite the fact that I'm one of these people that doesn't think that Shane should even be wrestling. He does a great job. He always takes these risks, and he pleases the crowd. But A, I don't want to see him take those risks. And B, I think that you can get wrestlers into those positions and highlight them rather than having somebody that is really only there for that nostalgia aspect, as opposed to what, you know, that the fact that they're an up-and-comer who could really, you know, make their name by putting on a good event. But that being said, I enjoyed the match. I think I'm going in the right order of this, but apologize if I'm not.
Real quick, Dave, I just want to let Chris Lawrence, we're just basically going over, Chris Lawrence 420 is here. Chris, we're just going over Dave's opinions of WrestleMania because he's been on the show for weeks giving his opinion on, or ideas of what could happen, and we haven't heard from Dave since WrestleMania, so we're just kind of laying back and letting him go at it, okay?
I am trying to get this as quick as possible done. But Cruiserweight match, epic. Very enjoyable. I heard some people criticize it. You know what? Good for you. Whatever. I don't care. I enjoyed this, and I thought it was a really good match, and you had some really great reactions from the crowd. So I did very much enjoy that match. Jericho versus Owens for the U.S. title. I didn't expect it to turn out that way, but again, I was surprised. I was pleased. I think they did a great job. I might not necessarily agree with the booking, but I went into this, again, I say this again, but I went into this event not expecting much, being pleased at the total outcome at the end, and just, you know, enjoying myself. You know, I turned off my brain and said, you know what, this one day I'm going to just enjoy myself, and I did. And I thought that match actually, you know, did well. Crowd reacted beautifully to fucking Jericho, and again, I think that KO really needs to be considered as one of those individuals that can really, I guess, progress feuds, storylines, and any championship sort of respectability. Because again, with the U.S. title, after John Cena sort of dropped that, it really didn't have the prominence that he was bringing to it. Yeah. He did an amazing job with the U.S. title, and I think that that Jericho could, you know, get involved with that with KO and really again do that. And I really think that we've seen KO sort of taken off the leash a lot more, so he's able to really be that heel that he is just great at.
Yeah, he needs
women's
that.
Match. Sorry.
No, he's just saying he needs that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So SmackDown women's match. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know, it wasn't the greatest match, but again, I enjoyed myself. Naomi winning. I can't agree with the booking, but whatever. You know. SmackDown. Sorry, the Raw, the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Oh man, I popped so fucking hard. so hard for that match, and I really did enjoy it. I did kind of expect the New Day to sort of be that fourth team, but I was pleasantly surprised because I wasn't banking on the Hardys to return. There's so much rumor and such. So I said, you know what? Let's just go in not expecting them. And, if it pops up, cool. But the way that they popped up and how it was, put together and how they won, I enjoyed myself. I've heard all the controversy about the broken stuff. We can discuss that later. The Miz, Maurice versus John Cena and Nikki Bella. So enjoyable, except for the proposal at the end, because obviously I don't give a fuck about that. But hey, there was a lot of people that enjoyed that. Whatever, you're taking,
it was so predictable. Just very predictable. It was like, okay, well, that's going to happen. All right, whatever.
Yeah, because we knew Cena was going to be going away for a while. Obviously, Nikki Bella is probably going to want to get something into her oven, so that she can start producing babies, and. I bet the Miz has been fucking hitting out of the park with the Cena impressions. I've been so enjoying that. The Raw Women's Championship match. Yeah, I guess.
There's a couple little moments, but.
Yeah, exactly. It had moments, but it's the booking that we see clearly here that there's no real direction.
I've given up on that, yeah.
But you do sort of see that, I mean, at least this speaks to the intelligence of both Bayley and Sasha, is that they are adding these little small tidbits that there is going to be a feud between them. Because there was and this is from Monday SmackDown, is that when they had their match and Sasha grabbed the title from the ref, sort of to give it to Bayley, she sort of hung onto it, and Bayley had to sort of like pull it away from her. These small little things, the smarks like us, we understand this, and it does build for story. So I thought that was interesting. But in WrestleMania standards, it left some to be desired. But again, I wasn't, I guess, entirely displeased with it. And you know what? I do see Nia Jax slowly improving. I would like to see her become more of a dominant figure.
There was one terrible moment, though. There was one terrible moment with her where she, somebody, barely hit her or something, and then she, sort of stepped out of the ring and fell out of the ring.
No, I saw that, too, yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's work to be done with all of them there. I mean, even JD is always going on about how Charlotte sounds like a robot and stuff. So there's clear room for improvement, clearly much more than the SmackDown division, because those ladies are fucking always... at least giving us, the audience, something that's new and I guess not as consistent. Because, again, we can only watch certain matches over and over again, on Raw. Almost through this list here. Triple H versus Seth Rollins. That was enjoyable. I expected that outcome.
Yeah.
It was cool to see Stephanie go through a table and such, and I did like how that played into the whole bringing in the new GM and so forth on Raw. I guess we're going to have to continue to see this to its fruition. I guess it's.
Dave, what'd you think about Seth Rollins' entrance over Triple H's?
Remind me again how that went.
Came out with the torch and put it down on the ground and said,
"Oh yeah,
There's." Did he not look like Zelda the video game? It was awesome. I mean, no, it was like a Pokemon Power Ranger reference.
He looked like the Gold Ranger, I believe. But I mean, the thing is, though, nobody really makes an entrance like Triple H.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I mean, yeah, you stick your torch in the ground, unless you'd maybe been talking it for the past couple of weeks. It really doesn't connect with anybody.
Mm-hmm. I just think that they could have done a little bit more with his entrance. I
don't even think he needs to do anything with his entrance. To me, Seth Rollins should be the face of the Raw brand. It's unfortunate that he's been weakened with the knee situation, because unfortunately he may not be able to hold up as strongly as he did before. But I really do see him as being a viable face, to carry that brand forward. All right, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. I expected to see that win from Brock.
Yeah.
no offense to Goldberg, but you know he's had his time in the sun. He had this second run or whatever run you want to call it, and you know you dragged your kid onto the fucking ring multiple times. Be happy with what you've accomplished, and that's it. There's no need for you to put yourself through more physicality.
Can I tell you something real quick, Dave? If you haven't watched the Raw, what's the thing after Raw ends? Whatever
Raw
it is,
Talk.
Raw Talk. If you watch Raw Talk, Goldberg with that extra, because it starts off with Goldberg cutting a promo in the ring, but it's not. He's like saying he's speaking from the heart. It's not a promo. It's nothing that's planned. Anyway, it's wonderful. Like it really, really, really is good. Like that crowd cheered for him and everything. Like his kid came in the ring again. He fell in even coming over the barricade.
My issue is not that he can't cut a promo. It's the fact that he's physically unable to produce properly, and he endangers his life. I don't want to see him get hurt.
No, yeah, no, absolutely. No, I agree with you. And he was basically kind of trying to say goodbye in that thing. He might be back. Maybe he left it open. My point is just like if you know, he did a good job. He lost the match.
Yeah,
he did what he was supposed to do.
He worked hard, clearly. I'm not trying to take anything away.
I just mean
from
like
it,
listen to that speech is really pretty cool. Like you'll be like, oh, that's a nice way for him to go out, and then that's it. You know, I don't know. Anyway, back to WrestleMania. I'm sorry.
But no, it wasn't unexpected. Brock he's not human. He's a machine. He's a monster. He's something beyond that. And those 10 suplexes were well done, very enjoyable, I think. And I've never had a problem with Brock Lesnar being a part-timer and the champion, because again, with such disarray going on with the main roster, I say don't get things distracted with the title. Fix your house first and foremost. Get your storylines proper, and then bring in the title, even if it is for an occasional title change or even a match. I don't have any problem with Brock Lesnar fulfilling that role. He is a monster, a circus freak, and I say, you know what? Utilize him in that method. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. I was disappointed to see what occurred with the loss to Orton. I did see them slacking quite a bit when he sort of turned on Wyatt, because the story became two-dimensional again. Randy Orton is a two-dimensional character. He works hard. He's talented physically, but the issue here, I think, was that as soon as he became babyface, it was just too simplistic. There wasn't that deep story that was going on prior when he was a heel with Bray Wyatt. So, and again, I've always said that Bray Wyatt should be taking the place of The Undertaker as the face of fear of wrestling, because he has such amazing skills both inside the ring and doing his promos that I just don't want to see him ruined or just swept aside for continuing nostalgia. So I just hope that they take this as an opportunity to improve Bray Wyatt's situation and maybe expand his storyline, but that's questionable. Last but not least was the supposed match of the night, which was Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. Yep, I might get some heat for this, but JD also said the exact same thing, despite the fact that neither of us really consulted with each other. I always thought that The Undertaker should have retired officially with his match against Triple H. Now, that being said, the match, I guess, was mostly enjoyable.
What the hell is Triple H going to get out of that if he... Oh, you mean he should have retired back then with Triple H? Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Exactly. That's what I meant.
The end of an era.
He's looked very weak in all the matches afterwards with CM Punk, with Brock Lesnar. With Roman Reigns, it looked okay, but he was still, looked like he was still winded and stuff. And, I'm not going to deny him the fact that he's added so much and so forth, but at one point you do have to take that hard decision to retire. And it sort of looked that way at the end where he took off his jacket and he took off his hat and then sort of like, gave the high fist salute as he was brought down into the stage. Again, if this was to, put Roman Reigns over, okay. I mean, he's not going to go over no matter what they try to do. So it's unfortunate this was The Undertaker's last official match, but especially, with the whole Roman Reigns situation. But we have no way out of it as fans. That's what they did. That's what they chose. That's what they gave us, and that's it. It's over.
Yeah. Well.
And that is the summary of my thoughts on WrestleMania.
What would you give it out of the score? I mean, I gave it 8 out of 10. Some people gave it 6, 7.
I would say between an 8 and an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Again, that is my reasoning is because I wasn't going to let anyone fuck with my Christmas of wrestling.
Yeah.
I see where you came from. I see where JD from New York came from about judging it a little more critically when it came to the wrestling. Now, I agree and totally understand that, but you guys are taking wrestling and like a few other sort of like subjects to provide a final grade. I'm taking it all. I'm taking the fact that I wasn't going to let anyone fuck with me on this weekend. I was taking, the fact that there was matches that I did enjoy, or I was going to take as much out of them as possible.
Yeah.
There was aspects of the wrestling. So because of all those additional subjects, I rate it between an 8 and an 8.5. People can disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. But that's what I experienced on Sunday. And overall, I enjoyed myself.
How would you rate the build-up?
I enjoyed myself more than I even expected I would.
Well, because the build-up, we thought the build-up was so bad. How would you rate the build-up? Because I would rate the build-up like a 3.
Terrible. And that's something that I talked about for weeks, that the build-up was just something that actually made me not want to watch WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I think that also affects my grading of the whole event because of the fact that my expectations were low and the outcome came out much higher than I expected.
Well, real quick before we bring, we got Chris Lawrence here. We got Connor from OKFabe is on his way, everybody. So if you're listening right now, we are going to have Connor from OKFabe here in a minute. We have Chris Lawrence on the line. But I want to tell everybody real quick to remember about SilverCityVapors.com. If you go to SilverCityVapors.com to order some vape juice and shit, they got a bunch of cool mixtures and stuff. SilverCityVapors.com. Use coupon code WWE. That's right, the coupon code is WWE. One more thing real quick for Bubba Ray Dudley. Saturday, May 6th, 2017. That's right. Go grab your calendar. May 6th, 2017. If you are in the Connecticut area. So now that goes for Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Hampshire. Whoever feels they can drive down to Connecticut. Waterbury, Connecticut. The Perfect Pizza Party. Wrestlers for Rescue. Old fellows, 3200 East Main Street, Waterbury, Connecticut. You can look it up. Come meet the wrestlers. Velvet Sky, Bully Ray. It's a $20 donation to Animals for Life. You'll receive one picture with each wrestler. Have your picture taken with both of them. Autographs, too. Plus, they'll be selling pizza and soda. All proceeds are going to go to Animals for Life. It's a 501c3 nonprofit animal rescue organization and shelter in Connecticut. So there you go. Connecticut, Bully Ray and Velvet Sky. $20 gets you in. Hang out, pizzas, take photos, have some fun, and it'd be a good time. So everybody go tweet to, if you're going to go, tweet to Bubba Ray, Bully Ray. Tell him you heard about it on the Joe Cronin Show. That will help me out too. And I may even go too as well. I'm still not really 100% speaking to Bully too much, but I would like to help him out, and we talked a little bit about this, so please go check that out. It's for a great cause. Buy a bunch of tickets even if you're not going. I don't know. Moving on, thank you to Chris M100 for pledging on Patreon. He became a $5 a month Patreon member. I tweeted that out earlier, and thank you so much for that. Every month he's pledging $5, and Patreon is the way to go now, guys, if you want to support the show, since we're not really being supported by Google Ads, at least right now, so that's the way to go. Moving on from that charity case, I also want to tie in, since we're talking about WrestleMania, we wanted to hear Dave's thoughts on WrestleMania, and we got them pretty much there. WrestleMania was the most watched WrestleMania of all time. 1.95 million, I'm being told, I think. So, the most watched WrestleMania of all time. What do you think about that? Academic? Anybody?
Chris, you want to go?
I actually heard that, I think it was, which it might be just some of that fake news shit, but I heard that 8 million watched WrestleMania on the network.
Oh, maybe I have the numbers wrong. Because, 1.95 doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah, I heard it was like 8.1 or something like that.
That sounds insane.
WrestleMania.
That sounds
which is still cool.
These days, it's very hard for the WWE to officially provide statistics as to how many people are actually watching the show, just for the fact that there's so many illegal streams going on. That's why they're citing actually the numbers in the Citrus Dome, for example, as opposed to the numbers that are viewing worldwide, which they actually used to do, I believe, back in the 80s, you know, when there was pay-per-view and stuff, because that was very controlled and they could actually tell that sort of thing. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's great that that they got record viewership. I just hope that it doesn't, and unfortunately I'm probably wrong here, but that it doesn't sort of make them complacent in regards to their stories and their shows and such. But, you know, we've seen that quite often.
Right.
But, you know, knowing that they're going to get a revenue generation either from the network or from merchandise and stuff, they become complacent with storylines. So they can keep giving us, you know, Charlotte versus, you know, was it Sasha, you know, for the 800th time. And because they keep making money with the shows and making the merchandise and all that shit, that, you know, they don't have to change things up. Competition actually breeds quality.
I'm trying to find this article about the most watched WrestleMania of all time. I mean, lots of people were tweeting it at me, and I'm trying to find it. I'm looking.
I also heard that the kickoff show that they did on YouTube and USA actually did pretty good compared to the network itself.
I bet it did.
Well, Joe's looking that information
no,
up. I just want to quickly mention my thoughts on Raw this week. I actually very much enjoyed it myself. Probably, and many people said this, probably the greatest Raw
of the last year, maybe?
What's that?
Of the last year, at least?
In the last at least 2 years, if not fucking the last decade.
Yeah.
You did not see this sort of audience reaction for a long time. And, dude, I loved the way that show started, where Roman Reigns was basically just letting the crowd get even more riled up just so that he could say, "This is my yard," and drop that mic and walk out. People were salivating. And
that was awesome.
The reaction throughout the entire night, whether it have been Finn Balor coming out as the surprise, you know, tag team partner, whether it was the fact that the Hardy Boys did a great job against Anderson and Gallows, even the cruiserweight match. Holy shit, was that fucking awesome! And Mustafa Ali.
Well, dude,
wow,
Dave, me and Mustafa Ali faced Neville on 205 Live, and me and Jake, we saw it at Mohegan Sun. We stayed for that. A lot of people left, and they destroyed. The match that you saw on Raw was maybe 1 or 2 ratings below what Mustafa.
And here's the thing, though, I did think it was a little disrespectful of the audience to act the way they did during that match, but I think
they came out of it a little bit because
Neville
they were like,
is a fucking seminal professional. The way that he reacted, the way that he's like, "Oh, Red Arrow? No, guys, you fucked up. I'm not giving you that." Just the guy is an absolute professional. I love his work. He is so talented, and this match specifically highlighted Mustafa Ali's abilities to the Raw audience, and I think the guy did fucking an incredible job at it.
Yeah.
So despite the way that the audience reacted, I still think that was a great match. I enjoyed it.
Well, how do you change that, Dave? Like, in your opinion, how do you change that to where the audience kind of gets more invested into 205 Live and the Superstars?
First and foremost, you fire JBL for saying the bullshit of that, you know, we get an hour's worth of fucking cruiserweight action every week. Second of all, I'd actually make the matches longer than fucking 3 minutes. I'd actually make them a seminal part of the show.
People are really mad at JBL for a lot of things. I don't know if you've, he's got
Oh,
major
no, I've been
heat.
following. And the fact is, he should have been fired long ago. But what happened with Mauro Ranallo, I'm very, very displeased. You had a talented individual that not only was great at his job, but he was really spearing. And I'm not a big guy about, you know, advocates and activists and all this fucking bullshit. But the guy was always reactive with his fans, replying on Twitter. He was always promoting mental health.
Yep.
And always trying to, bring that to the attention and say that there shouldn't be a stigma around it, and that people should get help if they need it, and that there's always a support mechanism there. And I mean, I think that's just great for. Again, that's non-political. That's for everyone's benefit, and the guy really has that as a special interest to himself because of what he has to deal with. For him to have to deal right now with the depression that he's dealing with because of JBL,
is it because
infuriates
of him?
me. It infuriates me. And JBL, this fucking piece of shit, who's willing to tell us, well, they boo on one day and cheer on the next because I'm a fucking moron, inbred piece of shit. You know what? I say go to Bermuda, retire, and don't ever show your face again on TV. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to wish harm on you because that's the karmic issue. But the fact is, you're a goddamn piece of shit, JBL.
Once a bully, always a bully.
Do
right?
we know that he
did
something? Do we know that JBL did anything? I mean, I don't understand where that exactly is. Like, I feel like are people speculating that, or is that happening?
It seems that there's multiple overwhelming reports of the fact that the reason why Mauro Ranallo is not around is because that JBL was feeling jealous and didn't like the fact that, Mauro was doing a way better job than he was.
Really? Well,
but even still,
but he's
let's
a different
ignore that for a
commentator
second.
too. Like,
how about insulting the fans, telling us that, we're in Bizarro world, people boo and they cheer, and it's going to be different next week. Go fuck yourself.
But you know what? They told them to do that, though, because they did that on Raw and SmackDown. They said that.
I don't care.
Okay. I was just making sure.
I just had issues with it because there's different. If you're going to say that bullshit, then say it a different way. I mean, I think JBL, if he's been in the business as long as he thinks he has, even though he shouldn't be, he should fucking watch the shows, especially with Michael Cole and all of them doing as much as they want with the announcers on Raw and SmackDown. You should fucking know the shows. Saying it the same exact way sounds,
Again, I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that if you want to talk shit about JBL, okay, but like I think that thing we can't. That thing he was told to say. It wouldn't matter who was sitting there. They were going to say that no matter what because they were told to say that. So that one thing, I throw that out the window because he's
okay. Fine, sure, we can ignore that, no problem.
But I will.
How about the fact that he's talking over fucking matches as opposed to actually commentating about what he's seen? Why are you fucking disrespecting the performers in the ring with your fucking squabble, trying to make fun of whoever's fucking next to you, as opposed to saying, damn, that was an amazing move. Like I didn't expect that. Why don't you do your goddamn job?
Yeah, and I don't know how much of that is them either, or if that's in the back, or they're told, like, don't be completely analyzing the match, make sure you go off a little bit. But the problem is their side talk sucks. Like, Bobby Heenan, his side talk was funny. And a lot of the times, his side talk was really funny, but it also related to the match.
And Macho Man.
Yeah, Macho Man was great, too. Actually, Macho Man Dave, the more I watch Macho Man and the way he speaks and the way he talks and the way he came up with very smart sort of little quips and things, he actually reminds me of you. It's really weird. He really does. Like, when I hear Macho Man, I'm like, I think of you, not just because you do that Macho Man thing, but because literally, like, he really reminds me of your announcing sort of style. Like, if it was me, Bailey, and you, like, you're Macho Man. It's... Well,
to be honest, I emulated myself after him because he's my fucking hero, man. He's my childhood hero, and I love the guy.
Wow. Well, I mean, shit. Like, I don't know. I figured it out the one day. I was like, man, he's a lot like Macho Man, and that's good. Like, it'd be great. I miss our 2K videos with Justin Bailey because
so do I.
As do I.
Nobody could ever touch Heenan, but I tried to do my best deal, and Bailey did a good job. And then you were in there with like the Macho Man. I loved it.
Tie my shoes, Bailey.
I gotta go back and watch some of those. Those are funny. Bobby Heenan was great. It was great, dude. I can't tell you at WrestleCon it meant so much to me to tell him. I know he couldn't say anything to me. He did say something, and I was like, man, I can't even. I couldn't. I just can't tell you, man. Like, he signed the picture. I got to, say everything to him about how such a big influence he was. There's probably not a lot of people out there that you can legitimately say you're a big, because I've said that before, and it's kind of like, well, not really, Like, I watched you. You weren't a big influence. I watched you, and I really loved you, and I felt like I knew you on television. But Bobby Heenan was actually an influence. Like, I mean, that's a guy who really, really was an influence. So that meant a lot.
He kept me in tides with WCW. You know what I mean? As soon as I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm not going to watch this anymore. Just hearing the stuff that he would say with Shivani and Mike Tenay, I was just like, man, I have to listen more. Even when he had Dusty sitting next to him, you know what I mean? He could bounce stuff off of Dusty or Larry Saviska. I mean, he's one of the ultimate commentators. Same like JR. You put Paul Heyman next to JR, he makes it work. You put pretty much anybody next to him, and it's gold. So I totally agree with you.
Bobby Heenan could do it with anybody, but Gorilla was the best, man. That stuff was amazing. How would you?
You know what? I loved Vince McMahon's stuff. I thought he did a great job.
People make fun of him, but I love him.
Come on!
Yeah, I love Vince. Yeah, I was telling Leah that he's over because I was doing commentary one time, and somebody was like, you kind of sound a little ridiculous like Vince because you're always yelling, and I'm like, probably because I listen to him a lot. And Leah was like, he doesn't yell. She goes, I feel like Vince never yelled and you yell a lot. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Vince is always screaming.
Come on, Monsoon.
What was the thing that CM Punk, what a maneuver? That was, dude, remember when CM Punk did that? I fucking died, dude. I marked out. I'm a mark for all this
here
stuff.
Comes Vince. What a maneuver.
Oh my God, dude, that shit was great. You know the other funniest thing with CM Punk ever, if you go back in time and watch it, is that when he was doing the whole thing with the, what was the group he had when he was like Jesus? He looked like Jesus.
Nexus?
No. Well,
Society?
Straight Edge Society.
Oh,
right.
Straight Edge, yeah.
It was going into Nexus, but right before that, the Straight Edge Society.
Yep.
I loved in the Rumble when people would come in and he'd be like, "Do you want to join my group and everything?" And then the guy wouldn't, and then they'd start fighting, and then the third guy came in the ring and he was like, I just want to ask you because you could join, and he just hits him in the head with the microphone instead of even finishing it. Like, it's so fucking funny, dude, because he's like, he does it with everybody else. He says the whole thing, you want to join me and you could be whatever, and then the third guy comes in and he just goes, you want to join, you could, and he just fucking hits him with the microphone before he finishes.
Knocks him out and puts his hand on their chest and stuff and just holds their own arm up,
Dude, that type of comedy is like hilarious. Like that to me is one of the I'm gonna go watch it tonight because it's so fucking funny. All right, we're way off the rails now, but that's okay. 1.95 million watched on the network around the world. By the way, that is the most watched WrestleMania. They're saying now that's on the network, I guess. So, what does that mean? I guess they're counting. If you counted like pay-per-view and everything else, I don't know. Like, I don't know where your 8 million came from, but that's what they're saying. 1.95 million. That's the record. Apparently, they're saying. There's a bunch of articles about it.
That's crazy. That just seems so fucking...
Seems low.
Yeah,
well,
it seems really low. But they'll come out with some report that says, oh, well, most people watched it here, or they watched it afterwards, or on YouTube. Like, I don't know who was doing their fucking YouTube after fucking WrestleMania, but they were fucking up everything. I mean, if you went on there, they were spelling Daniel Bryan's name wrong, spelling Nikki's name wrong, gender was a G and not a J and shit like that. And I was like, who is doing? They want to talk about how their YouTube is, it's doing this, and we got this many followers. They can't even fucking type up the right shit. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. So they get some intern or someone, some network working on YouTube.
Spelling Daniel Bryan, DANIAL. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
fucking retarded.
Well, they still got me on the YouTube channel, so maybe they really messed up. I can't believe they haven't pulled my video from YouTube.com yet. But I guess I have a different name, so maybe they figure it's okay because it's Daniel. I don't know. I'm pulling up the...
Maybe Road Dogg's keeping it up there as a rib or something.
Invasion, 770,000 buys. Number 14. I have the top 15 most watched WWE pay-per-views all time right here. So here we go. WrestleMania 15, 800,000 buys. So 800,000 buys. So they're going by people that bought it or watched it. So the network... So yeah, this makes sense. Can you believe that, though? Can you think about that? Only 800,000 people bought WrestleMania 15. Like, you would think, because their audience on television at the time was like, 7 million people. So, 7 million people, only not even 1 million bought it. I mean, granted, lots of people probably watched it over a friend's house, so that's probably like 3 million people, 3 to 4 million people probably viewed it.
Those are the numbers that they can't properly tell.
Yeah. People go to a bar, or people had to watch it later. I don't know. WrestleMania 18, 880,000 buys. Let's get to the top 3. I'm going to move to the top 3 and we'll figure it out. So, but this says 1.95 million people. So almost 2 million people. You think about that. WrestleMania 15 was at the height of WWE's Attitude Era, right? And now, almost 2 million. And remember we talked about profitability and stuff like that? But then again, if you think about it, profitability-wise, the network is $9.99 or is free for some people. So WrestleMania 23 was 1.2 million buys. So yeah, WrestleMania 23 was 1.2 million buys, and that was number 2. The first most watched WrestleMania of all time, the number 1, 15, 16, 17, 18. WrestleMania 28. WrestleMania 28 with 1.2 million again, but 17,000. So 1,217,000 buys. So this blew it away, guys. Unbelievably, this WrestleMania blew them all away. An extra 750,000 people watched this WrestleMania, as opposed to even last year. And last year didn't even come close. How is that? Like, holy shit, dude. How did last year not come close?
I would like to know the numbers for, like, how many people watched the thing through the free network. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to know that number. Like, because if that number's if that number's like not even half of what the viewing is, then, you know what I mean, they only watched it because it was free.
Yeah, and that's true, and we won't know those numbers, I bet. I'm sure WWE internally obviously knows those numbers, but even if they convert 1 month after that, it's like that's already a win. It's already a revenue stream, so they're already making more money. The other thing is, I will say this article is from 2013, so it actually isn't factoring in 14, 15, and 16, so that could be those WrestleManias could be there too, or could be close. Probably are close because it was the network. So, I mean, when you think about the buys, like, what was it? WrestleMania 15 was 800,000. At that time, pay-per-view was about $35. So you're talking about 800,000 people watching. That's $28 million. And if you were to say that everybody bought the network to watch this WrestleMania for $9.99 at, 1.95 million, you're talking about 18 million. So that's... Now,
did you buy it this year, Joe? Did you buy it on your cable provider, or did you do it on the network?
I bought it on pay-per-view, and I bought it on just because it looks so much better on cable. I mean, it's not even... Some people are like, well, I got a really good stream, I got a really good connection, I got really good internet. It doesn't matter how good your internet is. If your internet is perfect, they do not broadcast WrestleMania on the network even close to the resolution that it's broadcast on pay-per-view. So... it's not even close. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, because I had tons of issues, dude. Like, as soon as Matt and Jeff came out, my stream, it was all fucked up. It wasn't syncing right, and everything was fucked up. So
and
I figured it's because so many people were like, "Well, go watch it now. They're on," So
yeah, it might be, or people coming back on, turning theirs on, whatever it is. I wasn't risking it, so I bought it on pay-per-view. I just figured, it's the one event every year I will buy on pay-per-view because I want to experience it looking as good as it can, and it's way better. It's so much better. If it doesn't bother you, then it doesn't fucking matter. Am I ever gonna buy like fucking TLC or Payback or something for $70 on pay-per-view? I don't think so. Dave, how does yours look? Because what do you do in Canada? Are you using the network now, or are you buying it the old way?
The old way, or I go to someone's place.
Really? Okay.
Or, sometimes there's a bar. It really depends. But I have other priorities right now than spend money on the network, for one. I don't have the time to watch all the content, because that's another thing that people sort of need to pragmatically realize, is the fact that when you do pay your $10 a month or whatever the fuck it costs, it's like $14, $15 here in Canada. You're not just getting like your pay-per-view events. You're getting like a ton of like old videos, and it really is for the wrestling fan. But there's also the fact that if all you're doing is watching Raws and SmackDowns on regular cable, and you want a pay-per-view, it's sometimes just cheaper to go to a bar or to go to a friend's house who either paid for the pay-per-view or has the network already. Although you're right, Joe, the street, you can't get better than actually ordering it from your cable provider. You can't.
Yeah,
quality wise.
It even on pay-per-view, it looks better than on the cable. Like if you watch USA Network or whatever you watch, obviously in the US it's USA Network. On USA Network, like even watching Raw doesn't look as good as ordering the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view comes in at an actual full 720p, like HD definition with, a full frame rate. It's very fast and it's very beautiful. It looks better than that. And even Raw on USA Network looks better than the network. So you're going up like 3 steps. And it looks...
It's true. It's very true.
That WrestleMania set looked beautiful in stunning HD. Like when I watched it on the network...
It's true. It's damn true.
It's damn true. I sweat through my fucking suit all over the place. I'm so pumped for Kurt Angle as long as he's able to do whatever he wants to do. How did he seem the other day? Because it actually was really funny when he... what was that dumb joke they made, but it was still kind of funny? Something happened on Raw, on whatever, and he was like that doesn't even make any sense or something. Like,
when they spelled soft, and he goes, "That's not how you spell soft."
Yeah, like I know it's so stupid, but like I laughed at that, like it was dumb, but I was like, that was funny. That's not how you spell soft. Like that's if he keeps doing that type of stuff, like that's funny. It's funny how in WWE he's always sort of a comedic act. But he's, once he hits the ring, it's very serious. But he's kind of a comedic act otherwise. But in, TNA wrestling, it's like he was always so serious. Like TNA, like he came across as like a big fight MMA fighter, or in TNA more like a big time, wrestler who's like very, very like visceral and like technical, and this guy could break your neck in the ring. But in WWE, he comes off more as like hee hee. Like it's just funny how that happens. And the minute he's here, he goes back into that. I don't know.
I thought Diamond Dallas Page had in my opinion, I thought Diamond Dallas Page had the best speech out of everybody on the Hall of Fame. I thought Kurt Angle's was good too, but it's too much of the comedy and then pouring milk all over him at the end. Like, I don't know. Like you said, I want to see him in both lights. I don't think. Yeah. I mean, is WWE going to show him as that? I mean, if he didn't say at his speech, "Oh, hey, I'm one of the best wrestlers to pick this up and of all time." If he didn't say any of that and he just came out doing his thing, I'm happy to see him and stuff, but I also want to see that, kick-ass side of Angle too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know you're right. I mean, he's been doing the seriouser stuff for so long that now I think he's happy maybe to be back being goofing around a bit. But, I don't know why that is, but I thought the best person to speak at the Hall of Fame was Jim Cornette, so, like, it wasn't even Like, Jim Cornette destroyed. I heard he dropped Kenny Boland's name, too.
The speeches itself.
Yeah, I know the people. I know the people who actually weren't in the Hall of Fame, but yeah, no, we were watching and we were just like marking out for Cornette. Like, he was going off. I heard he dropped Kenny Boland's name or something. I haven't even watched the whole thing because I missed some of it. We had it on in the background.
He said something about how the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame helped get him laid more times than he could count.
Oh, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Or the Rock and Roll Express, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
He's like, "Oh, they got me laid more than I wanted to," or something like that. And I was just like, man, that's fucking awesome. And he did a great job. And a lot of people were worried about what he would say, but
I never thought that. I was never worried about what Cornette, because Cornette, like, he's professional. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's like so smart. It's like he's not going to go up there and be like, "Well, you motherfuckers, fuck everybody." He's not going to go do that. He's, he knows what he's. I was never worried about that, but he definitely goes off. But he's somehow so controllable with what he does and what he says. It's like he knows. It's almost like Cornette has like a permanent thing to the future. Like, he knows everything that's going to happen over the next 15 seconds ahead of time. So no matter what you say to him, he's got these like 13 zings to throw right back at you the minute you say it. It's like, what the shit? Like, amazing, this guy. I want to remind everybody again not to beat a dead horse, but real quick, that's... Oh shit! Did I close it? I fucking closed it. Oh, I guess I'll have to move off that. That completely throws me off because I was gonna talk about it. But what I'll talk about is my T-shirts. My T-shirts are available. There's a bunch of T-shirts available. We have sold a bunch of them, and they are down below in the description box to Teespring. The link is there, so go check that out because there's a bunch of new shirts up on there. Vince Loves Roman's Cock. There's like a whole bunch of shit. You guys will enjoy it. And what the hell is this? Dustin Starr? Dave, you got anything else to say as far as SmackDown and Raw goes? Anything to take from all this shit that you've had?
Well, again, I enjoyed myself very much during Raw. There's a bunch of matches I wasn't able to talk about, but that's fine. Let's hope they can continue with that performance that they put on Monday every week from now on. Doubtful, but let's hope. SmackDown did an okay job this week. It was actually a little lackluster compared to previous weeks, but I honestly think that everyone was exhausted from WrestleMania. So they quickly put together a show and, let's just get it done and over with. The crowd we know is going to be crazy anyways. And the debuts of Dillinger and of Nakamura fucking had me popping. And it's just good to know that there's fresh blood coming in to SmackDown, and there's so much potential despite all the obstacles that are placed in front of SmackDown, because again, it is something that I truly believe that Vince doesn't want succeeding over Raw. Doesn't mean that he doesn't want it succeeding, but it can't outshine Raw according to him. I think it should fucking totally outshine it, embarrass the old man, cause the stockholders to basically vote him out of that position, and maybe we'll be able to get some continued wrestling quality with the booking. We can always dream and hope, but
I don't think anyone will ever vote him
was
out of anything.
Considering all things, I thought was enjoyable. It was lacking, but let's hope that the shakeup doesn't remove AJ Styles from SmackDown, keeps those that I think really bring a lot to.
Dave?
Oh my God!
What happened?
I just went on one of my epic rants, and I had myself muted.
Yeah, I heard everything you said about AJ not off SmackDown, and then all of a sudden the last 7 seconds cut out.
God, my mouse. I'm going to have to get a new mouse. The thing just, unless it's haunted, but it just fucking went on its own. Whatever. Bottom line is that I love the premieres, the debuts that we saw. Let's just hope, SmackDown isn't sort of weighed down by Vince's ego, and that they're allowed to continue to produce the great shows that they're continuing to do every week. Road Dogg is doing an amazing job. His team is just spectacular, and I wish them all the best. Well,
basically, I just wanted to remind you guys real quick, I found what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to mention the, once again, in Connecticut, Bully Ray's doing a pizza party with him and Velvet Sky, and it's May 6th, 2017, Saturday, May 6th, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., and that is, again, in Connecticut. So go ahead and check it out. I'll link that perhaps down below. And I may
Shouldn't
tweet
Bully
it out.
Ray be laying off the carbs and the pizza and such?
I don't think he's going to eat the pizza. He looks really good,
No,
though.
he's going to have the fans eat out of his hands, remember?
He's going to have the fan eat out of his ass. Go over there and you can eat a pizza out of his ass.
He should be eating out of is a sty. How about that?
My
Catch
God.
me outside.
Oh, my God, Dave. What the hell? Maybe you can come to Connecticut and say that to him.
Well, if I do find him here in Canada, then that's a different story.
All right. Well, they put a this photo is hilarious. They put a pizza over the cat's head in the photo. I don't know. Well, yeah, but so go to Connecticut. You can eat a pizza out of Bully Ray's ass. It'll be unbelievable. $20 donation to Animals for Life. Shout out to Devon Dudley, who's working with the WWE now, and Bully Ray, ROH, and everywhere else that he is. It's amazing how he just looks so like he looks like he could kill somebody. I love Bully Ray's look. He will kill you. I've experienced him. He will fucking kill you. But no, seriously.
Well, I'll just pull a Jim Cornette, pull out my pistol, and shoot him right in the gut. And as I'm standing over him, ask him what he's going to do next.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! What the fuck? Well, nobody do that at the pizza party for Animals in Connecticut, in Waterbury. So go check it out. Go tweet him and tell him Joe Cronin sent you. Go out and
Joe
see
Cronin
him.
Show does not endorse anything its guests have said.
I do not endorse what Dave has just said. My God.
We are not into animal cruelty.
In fact, you're fired, Dave. Unbelievable. Okay, well, I'm very awkward. Thank you to Chris Lawrence 420 who was here, Devious Dave Rose on Twitter, and myself. I am at Joe Cronin JCS. And I also want to remind you that WorldWrestlingCollection.com, there's tons of new cards and signed autographs and toys, and there's a special Alexa Bliss plaque. We have 2 of them. There's only 200 of them made, and they're each numbered. We have both. I don't know what the numbers on them are yet, but limited edition Alexa Bliss piece of the mat, picture of her. It's a whole special deal. It's on WorldWrestlingCollection.com. And follow me on Twitter. Thanks for the support. Patreon, make sure to hit that up. And the T-shirts link is down below. And make sure to tweet Bully Ray about that May 6th pizza deal. If you're in Connecticut, go check it out. And don't forget, SilverCityVapors.com. SilverCityVapors.com. Use coupon code WWE. Get 25% off. So wherever you might be buying your vape from or your vape shit, you're probably going to save a lot more, hopefully, with SilverCityVapors.com. Go on Twitter, tell them I sent you. And that is, again, a Connecticut company, so they have shops in Connecticut and perhaps Rhode Island as well. So maybe go in and see them and tell them I sent you. They'll take care of you. They will hook you up if you mention the show. Thanks for listening. State of the WWE 87, guys. We'll see you in the next one. What do you guys think about everything we talked about? Leave it in the comments down below. And if you've tried SilverCityVapors.com, tell me what your favorite flavor is. What else can you tell me? What do you think about WrestleMania being the most watched of all time, perhaps, according to all these websites, including ESPN? We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Watch these other videos now, you fucks.